70% water. And 30% land. But the entire sky belongs to us.
Hi, welcome to Vets Chatting with Granny Lisa. I have Daniel Faust with me, and we have known each other for about a year now. I can't believe it's been that long. But he is the creator and of something very exciting that I got to be a part of. And so I am going to let him introduce himself and give you a little bit of background on what his military is and all kinds of stuff. So, Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thanks. So I'm an Air Force veteran of 23 years. Thanks for the video. That reminded me of the nostalgia when I first came in. I was really pumped. I have 4 kiddos that are teens now, so I call them medium, large, and extra large in different sizes. And we went over and created a business called Learn and Live, because a lot of us as veterans get out of the service and we go over and we try to live and learn, and it's really stupid. It's asinine, and no, I'm not cussing. It means ridiculous. And we went over and we veterans thrive from the prayer room to the boardroom. So from spiritual, marriage, family, and also business. Our most recent creation and collab is that we came together with 12 veterans to build Leave Now Veteran Mind. It's a little hard in the virtual screen to point to your virtual self. So, and Leave No Veteran Behind is a book talking for veterans from present and the past that have gone through trials and tribulations, pains and hurts, and we want to go over and to share those stories, but also share the testimonies, wisdom, the purpose, and also their passions, so you can actually learn and live instead of just live and learn. So that's what it is in a nutshell. That is who I am, and this is what we do.
Yes. Now, you've been 20 years in the Air Force. What was your job?
I had many of those. So I started out aircraft maintenance, like showed in the, well, it showed more pilots, but those aircraft need to be fixed. Didn't last long in there, and then they tried to make me security forces, and that didn't last long either. So the first real job I had was admins. For your Army folks, the 71 Lima. For your Air Force, that's a 3 Alpha 0. That for about 2 years, and then I cross-trained to postal. I didn't go postal, but I worked in the military post office. Did that for a year. No, 2 years. And then went back to that career of admin. Admin converted over to IT. So during the time, I became a IT instructor and did that for another 5 years at Korea and also at Joint Base Lewis McChord. From there, I then cross-trained one last time, at least on the active duty side, to health. So my last 2 years of active service, I was dealing with all types of patients, from active, Guard and Reserve, all the branch reservists at Pat Medical Center. I transitioned, and I use that word loosely, to the reserve, which was a huge hit in the face. And pretty much, long story short, I then go over and got into the reserve. And from the reserve, I've done, I was air transportation, load those big, heavy aircraft with many different things. And now I am a training manager. So finalizing my military career as a training manager, which is basically a training NCO So if your MOS goes to AIT or tech school, I send you there, I get you skill qual, and then I send you to your professional military education. So I've had a lot of different career paths within the Air Force.
Okay, I just want to say to our audience, we know that we are having some sound technical difficulties, and I have my IT working with tech support right now to see how we can get Daniel figured out on his sound, and so it's not jumping and skipping back and forth. So we're going to take a break right now.
Have you or someone you love ever been in a tornado or car accident, experienced sexual or physical abuse, served in a war zone? Most people have been through some kind of life-threatening or traumatic event, and it's common to have stress-related reactions after a trauma. But when symptoms last more than 3 months and they're not getting better, it's time to get help. Meet Sam. He recently returned from serving in Iraq. For many people, being in a crowded place like a baseball stadium or busy grocery store feels comfortable, but not for Sam. What should be a nice night out, taking his wife Tara to a restaurant, isn't fun for him anymore. He can only handle it if he sits with his back to the wall where he has a good view of the exits, and even then, he's too on edge to really enjoy it. At home, things aren't the way they used to be either. His sleep is restless at best, and some nights Tara isn't sure if Sam comes to bed at all. Sam seems to have a short fuse these days, and sometimes he snaps at Tara over tiny misunderstandings. What he and Tara never talk about is the trauma he experienced when he was deployed. He's never mentioned the guilt, the weight he carries around, wishing he could have done more to prevent what happened. Instead, he's turned inward, pulling away from family and friends. Tara tried to give him some space, but after months passing without change, she really started to worry. She was the one to finally say what they were both thinking. It's time to get help. That's when Sam finally decided to take action. He reached out to a doctor who told him about PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. Sam's symptoms were getting in the way of enjoying his life. Re-experiencing, hyperarousal, feeling worse about yourself or the world, and avoidance are the 4 types of symptoms people with PTSD have. Sam's doctor explained each. The first is reliving the event, or re-experiencing. This is often an unwanted memory or even a flashback where you feel like you're right back in the situation again. Seeing, hearing, or even smelling something that reminds you of the trauma can trigger these. Nightmares where you relive parts of the event in your sleep are common too. The second is avoidance, staying away from situations that remind you of the trauma. That's why Sam tries to avoid thinking about painful memories altogether. He pours himself into his work or uses alcohol to keep his mind from going back to the trauma. The third is feeling worse about yourself or the world since the trauma. You might feel overwhelming guilt like Sam or not trust anyone. You just might not be able to feel happy, even when you are around people you love. The fourth type of symptom is sudden rushes of anger, irritability, feeling jittery, always on alert, always on the lookout for danger. This is called hyperarousal, and loud noises or a driver cutting in front of you can be all it takes to set you off. If you recognize any of these symptoms of PTSD in yourself or someone you love, don't wait. See your doctor to find out if it could be PTSD. Just like Sam and Tara found, there is hope. You don't have to live with the symptoms of PTSD forever. Effective treatments are available. To learn more about PTSD or how to get help, visit the National Center for PTSD website at www.ptsd.va.gov.
Hi, welcome back. Daniel, how are we doing on our sound? Am I on?
Yes, Granny, you're on. We're checking sound now. Mic check. Daniel, can you hear us? Okay.
Can you hear us, Michael? Daniel?
Yeah, I can hear you. I tried to work on my headphones during the commercial, but
Oh,
it's not
okay.
syncing correctly.
Okay.
Would you go into private chat, please? And then you'll see the tech people answered Peggy. And so you go off to the side, you can see private chat.
No, I don't call that in the instructions. It still did nothing.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, I follow those instructions, since the only thing over and do is a full reboot. I want to go over and mess about going live.
We can try to end it and restart the broadcast if y'all want. It's up to you both. Since you already tried doing the settings.
yeah, let's go ahead and all of us cut out and then come back. I'll send you, or Peggy will send you the link. And
Okay.
we'll see on how, if that helps, because nobody's going to be able to hear you or understand what you're saying. So it will be like bad. Okay, I'm heading now.
Understood. Right.